Okay, sorry. Can we get like a redo? Let me ping Manny. I mean, like, if they're willing to just go in, we can let it just go. But you know, like, neither me or Dev are ready for this.
All right. Well,
I mean,
I guess we're going.
I mean, I pinged them. If they're willing to restart, we can restart it. Otherwise, we're 9 minutes into the race. Apparently, uh, I'm not entirely sure what to make of this, but apparently they're flying. Manny is most likely on his way out of Ataria with Greggy and White Emmy probably about 30 seconds behind. We'll see if Manny gets the D boost. Anything to add about Taria right before we leave, and I guess record timing considering it's stream.
This is the fastest Artaria I've ever commentated. A nice 30-second Artaria here for Manny. But yeah, no, we can just roll with this. Both runners getting pretty decent times so far. It was interesting. Manny decided to not go for the damage boost, leaving Artaria. It is slightly slower, but that damage boost can be a little finicky, especially in a race setting.
Yeah, just for time, for time awareness, we're just gonna let it go because they were supposed to start like 12 minutes ago, so there might be a run afterwards. But yeah, so I know Manny prefers safer strats, more consistent safer strats, so probably not too keen on the D boost. That's why I decided not to do it in a race setting.
For sure, yeah, it's one of those tricks that even if you're comfortable with it when you're going for PBs, like that's a D boost that you'll reset a lot on in going for PBs. Greggy actually, interestingly, even just using cloak to get across during that, so taking it super safe through here.
I didn't even think about using cloak here. It's just so much easier just to shoot. But let's see if Manny goes for the hot pocket run. I'm fairly certain it's gonna go for the hot pocket. I'm not really sure.
He
tends to be safer than X-Wing.
Yeah, he did pick up the E-Tank, which makes it a little bit safer. But we'll see.
As long as he doesn't stumble or anything, it should be good. Even getting super. Oh,
he was so close.
I'm sorry, commentator's curse. The moment the words come out of my mouth, they just drop whatever's going on.
I'm having trouble with that bird on that little section. That bird gets in the way so much, especially if you don't get those jumps like immediately. Looks like he will be going through the hell run. Nice big health pickup there.
Very solid. Now let's see if he gets grassed. Should be fine. Yep, good spawn. So Manny's gonna be flying through.
You
want to explain this room? You want to explain this room about how Green Emmy works?
Yeah. So as Manny's about to run to the left here, there's a couple of spots that Green Emmy can spawn, and if your movement isn't like flawless, he is going to get a rough spawn for it. He's just going to go ahead and run for it. His movement was very smooth going through that first area, so he knew he had enough time to just sneak past him. Sometimes you'll see runners firing a few shots there to try and distract the Emmy as well, so he waits down below, but Manny was able to just get right through there. See if Greggy goes for the hell run. Looks like no, he's going to go for the safer lower strat, which is completely fine, especially in a race setting, by the way. The hell run only saves 2 seconds done optimally. Manny looking up there. That is actually a speed strat, looking up before you activate this thermal flow, because it will open a door that you then just don't have to wait for later. So currently, Manny is about a minute ahead, but let's see how he does on Adam Skip here. This is a trick that is very, very precise, requires a lot of near frame perfect inputs. Oh, that looked so close. Greggy looks like he's having to play it super safe with that green Emmy, by the way. But does make it through. Lose a little bit of time there. Oh, I thought he had it there. Man, he was so close on that one. And this is giving Greggy a lot of time to catch up.
Oh, my audio cut out.
I can hear you again now. It's like, man.
Okay.
Oh no, he fell down. He had Adam skip and he fell off. He's still trying for it. Oh, that one was looking good, but he apparently didn't like it. And as I said, Greggy is able to use all of this time to catch back up. That's so unfortunate that Manny actually fell down from the Adam skip. Now Greggy on Adam skip as well. And any one of these Adam skip attempts could be it for either runner. Greggy actually using a slightly different setup on a couple of those there. Oh, he almost had it. This is also, so Manny paused there for a second. This trick is very tough on the hands. So I would assume that was, there he gets it. Excellent. Finally, Manny has made his way through. I would assume that little pause that he had there was literally just to let his hands rest for a moment, because the precise inputs and hand movements that are needed for this can be very, very tough. Greggy's had a couple that look really, really close as well. Oh, I thought he had that one. There's Greggy has made his way through. And so that will mean that time differential is going to be a lot lower now. Greggy will have been able to catch up quite a bit. He's now moving up to, this is a very, very long cutscene that Manny is going through right now, but they're basically going to high-five each other leaving this little area. Manny continuing to move through. Just a little hop over the green Emmy there. See if he gets this fast cycle through here. Just barely slightly too fast jumping to get up to this, that little magnet section so that he could have gotten through there a little bit faster. Be able to see if Greggy can nail that here in a second. And actually taking a little bit of extra time there to kill that enemy that wanders around on the ceiling. If you're very quick, you can completely ignore that enemy, but he can be quite a pain if you're not. Oh no, Greggy actually got spotted by the green Emmy, and he needs to get out of that door. He's being chased, so he's losing a lot of time right now just trying not to get caught by this green Emmy. It's very difficult in that room too. There isn't much space to run. Looks like Greggy waited a little bit too long on that elevator jump there also. Manny now on his way out of the out of Cataris. We'll be moving on to Dairon.
Hello? All right, go.
Hello.
I'm back. I missed the great equalizer apparently because of audio issues.
Yeah, it's all good. So catching you up, Manny got Adam skip, but accidentally fell down and had to do Adam skip again.
Oh no!
Greggy was able to catch up and get it. Manny still got through first. Greggy was able to catch up and get it before too much longer. But then Greggy got caught by the green Emmy in that like tiny little room where there's really only one exit. So he had to just run in circles for ages. So we're about where we were in terms of timing to before Adam skip now. Yeah, Manny was getting off of the Dairon tram at about 1830. Looks like Greggy will be getting there Probably around 1930. So about a minute behind. Lots of very precise jumping to make certain timings through this room. That first bird that Manny ran past will catch you if your jumps aren't very precise, and it will knock you back. So nicely done movement through there. And yeah, Greggy getting off of the Diron elevator at about 1915, actually. So only about 45 seconds behind right now. Which there is a ton of ways for Greggy to save 45 seconds throughout this run. And there's Manijure picking up the wide beam. We'll see how he does on the wide beam blocks after this. They can be very, very finicky. Even just slight little vertical moments, like if Samus is just landing from a jump or whatever, will cause the wide beam blocks to miss. And when you miss them, you just basically run face first into them. Much like that right there. Thank you, Manijure, for demonstrating. Slight little Emmy escape section here, but it's not a very dangerous one because the Emmy basically just runs off in the other direction and we just go straight to the right. Second wide beam block causes no problems for Manijure. He'll have one more and then an elevator and then another one. Greggy picking up the wide beam now as well.
Greggy heading, what was it? They're both heading to Morph Ball now. I think Manny knows how to do Professor Stupid, but pretty sure it's not gonna go for it.
It is a incredibly risky strat that saves like maybe half a second if you do it. It's very funny to watch though.
I think it was like I don't even think it reaches half a second. But Greggy having a little issues with the Pedros and the ledge. But we're seeing considerably cleaner movement for Manny. Professor Smart.
Manny clearing out this second control center. We'll see in a moment which Emmy kill he goes for. Yeah, that's true. So Professor Stupid on the split to actually get Morph Bomb, it doesn't save a lot of time, but the positioning saves you a little bit of movement afterwards is the real time save for it. But looks like Manijure going for the much more standard quick kill on the green Emmy there. And he's able to get that down pretty cleanly, very cleanly. Greggy now moving into the control center, so still at about 40 to 45 second time differential. And there is Morph Ball for Manijure.
Now both these runners are having a pretty smooth time. I'm not sure how fast their am skips were, but from the sounds of it, it's not. They didn't have that much of an issue. So consistency is definitely there for both players. So as for equalizers, probably the next one we're going to see is most likely Kraid. Until then, we're just gonna. Greggy's gotta like keep the movement very clean.
Manijure struggling there a little bit with the hardest jump in the game, which is to stop moving before you jump straight up. I don't know why it's so hard, but it is.
Actually, a good strat there is just to press aim once you're like under it, and then just full jump.
Oh, that's smart.
It gives you the right timing for it too. You can also do that for like the early Gozuna spark. It actually makes it significantly easier. But where do you think Greggy has the most time to save here on Manny? I know Manny does early space glitchless. I'm not sure. I'm pretty sure they're both spacers also.
Yeah, I'm expecting both of these runners to be going for early space jump. So it's possible Greggy could save a little bit of time if he goes for space pseudo and gets it within the first like 2 or 3 tries. Kraid is also an option. Like there's a couple of ways that Kraid can go awkwardly. Golzuna is another one that comes to mind. There's a few. I think it's less about like one specific spot throughout the run that could really save or lose a whole bunch of time at this point, and more about just consistency and getting tricks quickly.
Yeah, Greg it's just like the behind mentality. You gotta play it safe and make sure you have the least amount of mistakes and hope the lead has the most. Is the best way to put it. But Manny is a very safe player. As long as I've known him, always goes for the more consistent strat. So it's gonna be uphill climb for Greg for sure.
Manny now on his way out from picking up Varia suit as Greggy is about to start the Varia escape sequence. And we are on our way to Kraid. So Manny will be doing pseudo space. So
that's gonna be interesting.
Yeah, that is an option in this route, or a place in this route. That, as well as, like, honestly, sometimes the weird water jumping, getting to screw attack is another place where a runner can trip up a bit. But like I said, it's not likely to be a case of, oh, this is the point, the singular point where one runner drops behind or one runner catches up. It's more likely to be a collection of, like, basically Greggy has to be super, super consistent and solid from here on and hope that Manny screws up somewhere, like you were saying.
Yeah, the Gozuna is definitely also going to be a factor.
Yeah. And I mean, it could even be something as simple as like a double robo fight that goes poorly or something too.
Actually, did they go? No, they haven't seen the yellow Emmy yet. That can also be a factor. They've gotten good Emmy spawns so far. Hopefully that continues for both runners. I don't think Manny is gonna do a single wall jump. Well, we'll see. He's just dropped into the crate fight. Standard missile start. Good RNG getting the claws into spit.
Yeah, that's a pretty good first phase. And he is, like you said, not going for the single wall jump. He's just going to unload into the belly button. Pretty awful RNG for him on that second phase in the lower section. Was hoping for Kraid to do him some favors there, but didn't get it. But now he's up to the upper portion. Nicely done skipping that cutscene.
Should phase him right here. Nice. That was a pretty good Kraid considering it's going to be a sub 29 Kraid. This is very much a low 20s pace.
Yep,
Greg, not that far behind either. About 30-40 seconds. So realistically, again, stay solid, stay clean, and a real chance to just make a hero's comeback.
That was actually a very good phase 1 Kraid for Greggy.
I think he chose to missile the spit.
Yeah,
That's pretty ballsy. That's really easy. Just miss.
having a hard time in this lower phase though. That's a very, very slow lower phase, unfortunately.
It's actually worse for you to move away than to just stand there and shoot. Because if you just stand there and shoot, you can just shoot in one direction at the belly, and it'll hit everything.
Yep.
Getting another punch. Ooh, the RNG is not on Greg's side right here. Hopefully, it doesn't fall.
Yeah, overall he did pretty well with what he had, but yeah.
Manny had early grappy. Oh man.
Early grappy bean. Going for that early grappy.
At least past. We've had a few falls at early early grapple. Man, I can't even say it anymore.
Early grappy. That's just what it's called now.
Yeah. We've had a few runners already fall early grappy jump. Hopefully, it doesn't happen here for Greg. That's definitely something that shouldn't. But as long as he keeps his pace, and yeah, not to curse Manny, but if the yellow Emmy isn't very kind, Greg can just kind of instantly catch up at least.
Yeah, I feel like the jump on early grapple is one of those tricks. Like, it's one of the first real tricks that you learn when you're learning this route, and it's one of them that, like, it should be easy, and I think that tends to get into your head a little bit, and you're like, oh yeah, just go through this room, no problem, and then you forget the timings and end up falling.
Yeah, it's definitely a testament to how solid your fundamentals are for coyotes. But this one is like it's more. Ooh, oh my god, it's more
Nice
nerves
recovery.
than anything.
Yeah,
because it's like instantly like 30-40 seconds lost.
yeah. The first jump, if you fail the first jump, then you lose. I think it's like 8 to 10 seconds just getting back around. If you fail the second jump, it's a huge time loss because you just die. Like, you can't get out of there in time.
Yeah, you end up back at the purple teleporter. You at least get 2, maybe if you're quick enough, you get 3 tries at the first jump. But Greg having really good reflexes, managing to save that jump.
Yep. See Manny on the way out now. Nails that. That is a jump that is a lot trickier than it looks. The unmorph into ledge grab coming out of that section.
I just do a ledge grab. I still haven't figured out how to do it, and I haven't felt like the need to do it. But it's like a morph ball coyote into a respin.
Yeah, it's weird because, by the way, very good yellow Emmy positioning there for Manijure. It's weird, that jump. I actually intentionally started like hopping as I go through that tunnel so that I know I'm going to have to manually unmorph to get out of it, and for some reason that makes that coyote jump easier for me. It's just weird.
Oh my god, the slime giving him the run around. Yeah, that's surprisingly tricky. It's not that again, it's not difficult, but you can actually fall into lava, and it's just really annoying. So many getting bombs. If you're wondering why we don't, quick kill crate with bombs, is because we're getting it right now.
Yeah, that's like one of the most commonly asked questions when people first start getting into speedrunning this game is, why don't you just go get bombs first and then quick kill crate with those? And it's because it's actually slower to do it that way.
It is immensely slower. We're talking minutes.
Yeah. Greggy getting that jump.
I've never actually seen. That was actually new. I didn't see that version. I've never seen a version before.
It almost looked like he was trying to go for the ledge grab method, accidentally climbed back up in, and then just said, "Screw it, I'll just go for it instead." Nice
A
yellow
hybrid
enemy
method.
positioning for Greggy. Manny having some weird accidental ledge grabs in there. Samus just loves to grab ledges when you don't want her to.
Did Manny get hole in one? I wasn't looking. I don't think so. Oh, apparently he got a hole in one.
Very nice. Yeah, I was like, I think he did, but as soon as you asked the question, my mind went blank.
Yeah, I was too focused on the Steve. Fun fact, you can parry the Steve for some reason on the spikes. I say that because normally they're supposed to like flash and then like, oh, you can just melee it. But the spikes is the flash for some reason.
Interesting. Greggy now picking up bombs. Let's see Manny coming through this section. Oh, actually, I think he was slightly too late on his slide cloak there. So the beam creature had already started charging the beam, which is unfortunate.
What do we actually call that?
I have no idea.
Call it a laser.
During the qualifiers was the first time I had ever out loud pronounced like what I would call that thing, and for some reason the words beam creature was just what came out.
I'm gonna call it the laser baby. Yes,
Laser baby. That's a lot better.
Yeah, the laser baby.
That's much better.
Because it's confusing.
See if Manny's going to go for the backdoor method. Nope, he's going to go around the slower but safer method of he's going to grab this grapple block and get into flash shift the normal way. Or one of the normal ways, I should say.
Ed put up a good point. Those laser babies are actually the suicider tentacle thingies.
Oh, that's right.
Just like exploded you if you just take off the hat. Why it can shoot lasers with a hat on, I'm not sure, considering it's a tentacle.
I mean,
it is what it is. You know,
is laser hats really the weirdest thing in Metroid?
I mean, we have Drog.
This is true.
Maybe it's a de-evolution of Drog. I don't know.
No pseudo waves in the water room for Manijure. And he's not going for the early water bomb jump setup either. Which makes me wonder if he's actually just going to go up and to the left up here. Yep.
Looks like it. The safer strat.
Yeah, at this point, he knows he's got a pretty decent lead. So he might as well just be safe and not worry about accidentally losing time versus going for the, even if it's not that risky. Like that water bomb jump is tricky, but it's not the worst. But it still makes sense to say, okay, I can afford to lose 2 seconds. I can't afford to lose 20. So go for the safer strat.
Speaking of losing time, Greg failing to do the coyote grapple beam over the little moat earlier, and was struggling really hard to kill with a Pedro, which is fair. For some reason, every time I do the coyote jump into like a grapple beam, the grapple beam never comes out, and I always fall for no reason. That
jump, I don't know what it is. I can never do it properly. I will always just try to do the coyote jump across there, but what ends up happening is I damage boost off the enemy instead. It's never what I'm trying to do, but it always works.
Oh, I'd rather take the deboost than the grapple.
Yeah, it's literally like I'm not trying to do the harder strat, but because I'm bad at the strat I'm trying to do, I accidentally do the harder one.
Greg, just melee it or shoot it.
That is some tricky platforming through there. But yeah, those enemies can be such a pain.
So Greg took a lot of damage. I don't think that will matter too much, but it might. So not grabbing the E-tank might be an issue, but there's not much danger besides the yellow enemy here. There's a lot of rings in the brain fights. Oh yeah, I forgot these things refill. Never mind.
Yeah. That E-Tank, I had actually forgotten that E-Tank was even there because I haven't seen a runner pick it up in so long. Nicely done on the water bomb jump by Greggy, by the way. As I said before, it's not the... Oh no, flash too far. It's not the worst trick of the run, but it can be, like, the timings on that water bomb jump can be annoying. And we also saw Manny getting a very, very clean kill on the yellow Emmy to pick up that speed booster. So we're about to see a bunch of really cool speed booster tech and movement through here. We'll see if he's able to pull off the full speed keep.
Will we go for the cinematic spark? I'm starting to see a lot of cinematic sparks for some reason. It's funny, but it's also slower.
It's the speed keep. And he does go for the ball method to skip the cinematic. And he will pick up this E-Tank as well. That's probably the last E-Tank he'll pick up throughout the run. There is one more that sometimes you'll see runners pick up on the way out of Ellen, but...
Three is already pretty safe on rookie mode.
Yeah.
Four is pretty standard for normal, but 3 is like it's already pretty safe. But most importantly, is Manny gonna do the quiet rope keep?
We will have to see. Greggy,
just a game.
It's all good. Greggy with the most annoying potential time loss that you can make in this run, which is accidentally pausing when you're supposed to be skipping a cutscene instead.
Choosing to shoot from far away. Now, okay, so Manny and I going for this speed keep. I don't approve, but I respect it. Choosing to shoot from far away seems like a really minor choice, but this is a pretty big choice because for some reason that camera makes that target very small, and missing just a couple shots, like the yellow enemy just starts zooming. It can get in your face almost instantly.
Yeah, and the longer distance, it makes the aim itself a bit harder too, because even though those shots go very quickly, by the way, very nice clean kill on the quiet rope fight for Manijure. But even though those shots move very quickly, at that distance, there is just enough of a travel time that it can get awkward.
There's also so Manny during that quiet robe sparking, even though he got both relatively quickly and very cleanly, he chooses to do the melee version, especially the lunging melee version, which looks pretty benign, even though he got hit. It's actually a pretty big issue depending on RNG, because during that melee, right before you spark, that robo can actually just quickly melee you and cause you to parry, which would make you which require you to either shoot missiles to finish it off or spark it again. I'm not sure how much health it has left after that, but you do 40% less during a parry cutscene. So that was apparently a risk he was willing to make.
Yeah, I've had a few runs where I land the second shine spark on him and I'm like, wait, why is he not dead? And it's just because that parry means that it takes less damage, which seems counterintuitive, but is what it is.
Yeah, the parry, it's very much to make the parry mechanic look very cool and extend it, but you do 40% less and you get your ammo back. So it's essentially just an ammo dump. Don't know why they decided to make that, but you know, it is what it is. Greg now heading into quiet robe. Let's see if he gets a clean quiet robe.
That was an interesting route he took through that room. A little bit more safer, I guess, to be able to clear those enemies that are up at the top. And he's going to hop all the way up. This is the safest strat for this particular method, but it does result occasionally in like what just happened there, where he had to even delay using his Shine Spark attack because the robot was still up a platform shooting at him. We'll get the second one quicker. We're about to see Manny go through a real cute. Yeah.
I don't think he knows the speed link. Not many people know the speed link or bother even learning it. It's not that amazing. I mean, it looks really cool and it feels really good, but it doesn't save that much time. In fact, you can flash shift and be faster, but flash shifting is really hard.
Oh, interesting. Greggy chose to pick up that Missile Plus pack on the way out of Ferenia.
Really? This looks like Greg goes for a 60 count, which is fair. That's a very safe amount of missiles.
Manny having a little bit of trouble with the drog skip pseudo, but does get it. And he's going to go ahead and use the cloak method to get up through here.
I'm sure top runners are cringing right now watching this. They don't like cloak climb very much.
The unfortunate thing about cloak climb is you do tend to lose a little bit of health, and you're like, he's about to go fight the golden Chozo robot. So like, unless you can do it very quickly, which Manny did do it very quickly, so I don't think he lost much health there. But if you don't do it very quickly, you can end up pretty behind on health.
I don't how it's hard to see the missile count. I think Greg has 50 and Manny should have about 40. Yeah, 40. Yeah, so missile count is very good. You only need 29. Generally outside of outside of any route that needs to fight Drog, the missile count's pretty okay, but I have come in here with not enough missiles before.
Yeah, this fight can be a hassle. You end up having to counter him to get missiles back if you don't have enough. You'll also notice Manny's sliding into him to take a damage boost so that he can stand there and have the shots pass right through him so he can get a little bit more damage in on him.
Yeah, a lot of beginner mistakes, or I shouldn't call them a mistake. It's like beginner mentality is try to avoid the hits when in actuality you take less damage and gain more time by just ramming your face into the gold robo before it attacks and using the invulnerability.
Yeah, a big part of phase 3 Ravenbeak is learning how to deal with his large beam attack by just bouncing your face into him. And there's super missiles for Manijure. Greggy about to work his way through the speed keep section here.
Ooh,
oh, interesting. He's going to ball spark.
That's fine. That actually doesn't lose that much time to doing the speed keep. And ups the consistency tremendously. So I approve of that.
Yeah, he's going to do a ball spark through here as well. It's overall very, very clean.
Manny doing the deboost swarm, I think. Manny's been zooming. I can't really tell from the timer. He might. I don't think he's on PB pace, is he?
I'm actually not sure, but mostly just because I don't recall off the top of my head what his current PB is.
I think it was a 20-something.
He's definitely on a pretty good pace.
Yeah, he's definitely in the 23 range. It's so hard to tell during a commentary, but we'll find out at the end. But both players are running very smooth, very clean for this bracket, considering.
Yeah, and one of the interesting things and important things to understand about the difference between a race in a tournament like this versus just going for your own PBs is there's a lot of things that, like, when you're doing a normal run, you'll just be like, all right, well, it's not this run, I guess I'll reset. Like, Manny accidentally falling down on Adam Skip earlier is totally a thing that if he was just doing normal runs for trying to improve his PB, he would have reset on. But can't do that in a race, so we just keep going and see what good time we can get overall.
Yeah, you really only see odds are the best players will have, be very close to world records. So if they PB, it'll usually be like at least very close to a world record. But in races, you tend to go for the more consistent, slower strats. So seeing PB is nice, but it's kind of few and far between. The races are definitely a different mentality. It actually fits Manny's mentality quite often. Every time I've raced him, he's always goes for the consistent strats. Manny choosing to take the stab. Oof. Again, he can take one more, I believe.
That Chozo Warrior fight was actually very kind to him. It spent very, very little time up on the walls, which just makes it easier to be hitting him consistently through that whole section.
Yeah, you definitely want the stabs. It is a little scary depending on how fast you mash, but it's still better than him jumping around or doing this the slam.
Yeah.
I guess it's considered a high five. Manny's leaving a loon. Greg's going into a loon. See, Manny gets the Speed King.
It's waving to each other as their trams pass. Manny getting the hardest to remember cutscene skip in the game, first try. I always end up watching about 10 seconds of that cutscene because I've like taken my hands off the controller and I'm like stretching them or whatever.
Yeah, always gotta like manually remind yourself that you gotta skip the cutscene. Oh. Ooh, missing the Speed
He got
King.
most of it, but yeah. Not the worst to lose it at that point because the platforming from there, like the speed keep doesn't go for too much longer after that. But
yeah, the issue with missing that speed keep, it isn't actually like missing the speed keep, which is a time loss. It's actually because of the blue Emmy. If that blue Emmy was in a different position, which it was in a very good position. In a very good position. Sorry for the barking.
good.
It was in a very good position. So if it was in a bad position, especially in front of the door, very realistically, it would have just chased Manny.
Yeah.
Ooh, Greg going for the loon speed. Wait, the spark, huh? You know what? I approve of that variation. It makes the loon speed very consistent.
Yeah, I had not seen that before. That's very good. Very nice.
Although significantly slower than just flashing, sadly, but it does look very cool.
Yeah. Sometimes you got to go for the swag. Sometimes that's more important than speed. I know that's controversial. As speedrunners, speed is always the most important thing, but sometimes swag is also important.
Oh my god.
I can see that there is agreement with this statement. Very nice and clean blue Emmy kill for Manijure, by the way, picking up that ice missile. Which means Manny will be moving on to pseudo space. Greggy now on the way out of Ellen as well.
Is it Ellen or a loon?
I don't know. I don't think I've pronounced it the same way twice in a row.
Because a loon it needs an E at the end.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think it's a Warcraft reference.
Oh, you do know Warcraft.
I know Warcraft very well.
But yeah, Manny is headed to the pseudo Udo. Hopefully he gets it in like the first try. Greg, I'm not sure everybody knows the Speed King. Elon Musk.
Oh no.
Oh, he's going for the Speed King. Doing part of it.
Yeah, unfortunately, shooting in the air like that for some reason kills your speed boost.
Pretty sure Greg is very aware of that and chose to do it. First try,
Yeah.
Manny. I can't tell the angle. It's too gritty. Second try, you get at most 4 hits. Ooh, third try.
Third
That's
try,
not
not
bad.
bad.
That's even with glitchless early space. But yeah, you get 4 shots maximum before you have to reset the health of the claw, which is just leave the room and then just re-enter.
Yeah,
On
it's
the
important.
5th, it will kill the claw.
Yeah, exactly. That was what I was about to say. Is you have to do it before you kill it, otherwise you have to like go and hang out outside for ages.
No, actually, as long as you don't kill it, you just leave and then come back, and it just resets
Yeah,
health. If you kill it, you have to spend 10 seconds outside of the room or on the upper right part of the room.
Yeah, exactly.
A whopping 10 seconds just to respawn. It is horrible. Right, killing the brain very easily. Any slower version of this build, speed kill.
Yeah, it seems like Blue Emmy is being kind to both runners, although this positioning is caused him to be a little bit slower than Greggy would have liked, I think. It's weird. The exact route that you take to get up to this spot affects how quickly this Emmy is attackable very dramatically.
Not to like explain it like too in depth, but basically the room's really weird pathing for it. We open a charge beam door, and if you get there faster than it can get to that tunnel and go past that block, it'll choose to go up to the charge beam door immediately. That's basically just of it.
Yep, and the method you use to get up there, some people will use a shine spark, some people will use flash shift. I believe the jump up to the wall and then flash shift is the fastest method. Oh, Manny having to pick up his shine spark there.
Yeah, the oh my god, doing a spark. That's an interesting choice. Just instead of just flashing. But Greg also going to the Sudowoodo. But yeah, more on I-70. The most important part was storing the spark again. The most important part is just to get through that lower area before he has to decide. Outside of that, it doesn't matter if you spark or flash; it's the same speed. But yeah, it's just that first part that's really important. Well, Manny's heading to early screw. I can't imagine his water jumps being really bad. Maybe we'll even see the glitchless early screw. I like doing that. It definitely feels better. Ooh, Greg, first try early space.
Very nice.
Showing the training montage.
Very, very nice from Greg. And that is the sort of thing that it does give him a little bit of time that he can pick up. That's, I want to say almost 30 seconds he could have just picked up there. Not quite that much, but it is a substantial amount of time.
Yeah, over Manny, he saved about close to 10 seconds on doing that alone. This part, he might have just lost it right here. But depending on how their Gozunas go, if like Greg's Gozuna goes perfect and then Manny's goes horribly wrong, this can still, be a very close race.
Yeah, definitely.
Gozuna is extremely volatile, even at the top level. He can be such a pain. It's ridiculous.
Manny so far with a very clean escape from early screw. There's a lot in there that seems like it shouldn't be that difficult, but can be. See how he does on there's this pseudo here, which was one of the later pseudos discovered, and everyone kind of collectively went, wait, why did we not do this before? And very nice jumping getting out of there. Those jumps are very tricky.
I don't remember who found that actually.
It was one of those where like previously we had been either going around all the way underneath to shoot it like the normal way and then going back up and over, or eventually someone figured out that there was like a setup. If you got into the door and did like a melee over to the side, then that put you in the right position. And that was what people were doing for a while. And then at some point someone was just like, hey, by the way, you know, you can just walk up to the block and crouch and shoot behind you, right?
I remember making the method with the morph ball for that version, and then someone's like, yeah, you just and then we found the crouch pseudo, so we just applied it for that. But I remember who found the original. Oh well, it'll be lost to time.
Lost to time in Discord logs.
Yeah. Fun fact about pseudos: the original person who found pseudos that gave us Corpus pseudo, and then basically gave us every pseudo, technically our forefather basically thought it was a useless glitch. It literally popped up in Discord like, hey, you look at this useless trick I found, you know, just shooting through a wall. Little did he know, he just saved us like 20 minutes.
Greggy with the downward shine spark to get through this area, which isn't actually any faster. It just looks cool. And Greggy definitely loves some shine sparks, so I'm all for it.
I wonder what version Manny goes for. I think, oh my god, just bonking that. Oh wait, gravity. I always forget they go to gravity and not Kozuna.
Yeah. That, by the way, that little hop with the screw attack to get through the floor there was another thing that was discovered way later than it should have been, because it's not even like a glitch or anything. It was literally just everyone prior to that was storing a shine spark so that we could shine spark across the water to get over. Then eventually someone was like, you know, you can just jump through the walls here, right?
Oh, Greg going below. Interesting.
Oh, okay.
Oh, you should just did the speed. Wait, huh? Wait, where's he going?
So rather than doing a water bomb jump there, he goes over to the right, does the setup that would have been a pseudo later, and because he's over there, he can charge a shine spark and use that to get up inside this room instead of the water bomb jump. That's very interesting.
It's smart, but also questionable.
Looks like he's gonna go for the shine spark method here too.
Manny getting through the puzzle of pain. But yeah, I do like that strat from Greg. It does take a lot of the complexity out of potential time loss, but it's very weird. It's definitely not something I would expect to see, even from a beginner. But there it is. Oh, doing the zipper, I agree to this. Slower or not, okay. Well, I don't know why you guys sparked there, but okay. The longer spark, the better. I don't care if it's slower. But yeah, a space jumping, a flash shift into space jumping is faster than sparking, but you lose like 10,000 points of swag. So you know what's really important. Whoa! What the? Okay, that was most definitely an accident.
Yeah, I don't think that angled spark there was intentional.
Or was it?
Honestly, in this race at this point, it's getting hard to tell what's intentional.
The parry, whoa, that was an interesting choice.
Yeah, so a lot of the strategy of these double robo fights, there's another one that's going to come up a bit later. A lot of the strategy with the movement is trying to get them to stand on the same platform, or at least at the same height, so that as you're mashing your plasma beam, you're hitting both of them at the same time, because that is more damage than screw attacking just one of them. Which is why the parry is interesting, because he could have allowed that enemy to knock him back and thus kept both of them on the same platform, but by parrying, he forced the one that he didn't parry to jump down.
Yeah, it's as long as I mean it also runs the risk of getting yeeted to the wall, but that's also better because that also still lines them up eventually. So parrying there was probably the worst choice you could have done. But you know, it still was a smooth fight.
Oh, interesting. He's just going to space jump up to Golzuna, which again isn't really actually any slower. Greggy, more shine sparks.
Screw into spark. You know what? I don't really mind that it's slower. It's just cooler.
I will always be in favor of more shine sparks.
It's
See
just
if
like
Manny can get the quick kill. He's got the store.
He's swagging out. Manny going for the glitchless variation of that, I believe, which is also arguably the safer version of it. It's just a little bit slower, just not as volatile. So it was pretty good choice. Essentially instilling his lead. Maybe a bit of posturing on his side.
I hate this room so much that Manny's going through right now.
I don't think anybody likes this room, especially on unrestricted.
Oh yeah, because you don't have cross bombs.
Yeah, Greg almost failing the gravity, but quick reflexes. He managed to jump up and re-spark the slope. This room, I honestly hate the gravity puzzle more than the crossbomb room.
Really?
It's just absurd. Like it's because the crossbomb room, you can fail it and it'll be not your fault. But if you fail the gravity puzzle, it's completely your fault, and you're an idiot.
I think that's why I hate the. By the way, a little light vandalism here from Greggy. That is why I hate the crossbomb room so much. Is because if I fail at something, I want it to be my fault. I don't want it to be like my crossbombs just decided not to cooperate. There's gravity suit for Greggy.
That's an interesting choice to spark there. I mean, that's actually slower than just running through and just shooting. Hey Ed, crossbomb launch is useful. He's got to use it.
It's very useful. Well, it's very useful in unrestricted. Wait, no, it's not useful anymore in unrestricted. It used to be useful in unrestricted, but now you don't get crossbombs anymore in unrestricted. It's very useful if you do the SASB route in NMG and don't take space jump later. If you go spin boost instead, crossbomb launch is used in a couple spots.
Crossbomb launch is so cool though. I love it. It's so silly. It makes me laugh every single time. But Greg, having a very clean fight. That looked kind of messy, but it actually was very clean. Kept both on the platform, and managing to basically match both. One died early, and choosing to screw attack one is actually the better choice, because if you continue to mash just one, is actually slower than just screw attacking, because screw attacking does more DPS overall.
Yeah.
So the wave MEB kind spark. Luckily, the wave ME was at a good spot. If it was underneath, really risk getting grabbed.
Yeah, and even if you don't get grabbed there, having the wave ME spot you slows you down so much, because he can see you from a million years away. You can see on the screen right now, like his beam goes through the floors and stuff. So you just end up having to stand there and wait for ages, even though he's nowhere near you.
Oh, that's one thing we never explain as he goes to SQ. Every Emmy obviously has a unique item. Hold on, Greg's at Gozuda. Doing a very safe spark. Doing a ball spark. Oh my god. I've never seen that version. Ooh, I don't know if that damage boost was intentional, but managing to get the force spark nonetheless.
Yeah,
and
it seemed
finishing
like
off Kozuna.
Oh, no. We have two
Oh,
X
what?
parasites dying at different times. That was a very, very fast X parasite kill for Manny.
Yeah, Manny getting the perfect SQ quick kill. Greg failing to get the X core kill. I'm not sure. I think he was accidentally instant sparking down, which is very easy off store, up or down. So it was most likely an accident. But you can just slow spark and it'll just kill itself.
Yeah, oftentimes, I actually think the fastest way to kill that X parasite off of Galzuna is the slow spark, because it will die to.
Yeah, it's actually the diagonal spark. That's the fastest way. But diagonal sparks are really stupid sometimes. So slow bar sparking is the second best choice.
Well, so what I normally see is a slow diagonal spark in the faster runs, just because then that way, by the time your spark actually goes off, the sort of X parasite in the middle that you need to grab a hold of is accessible. So you spark up to the side and then just drop down and land on it, and you're able to pick up the cross bomb upgrade as you're falling instead of having to run back for it.
I didn't know that. That's actually really smart. But as long as the X parasite dies, I don't think that really matters, because there's a time lag from death. So even even stopping and then going to grab it isn't that huge of a difference.
Yeah,
but toppers would know more than us, so I'm sure they do it for a reason. So while we were talking, Manny doing quick work up the double robos, sparking the gold robo, keeping them both on the same platform, putting in spark. Screw attacks in between for the respins off damage boost was really smart. Basically, they died in like 10 seconds.
We'll see what kill method Manny goes for on the Wave Emmy here. Oh, he's going for deep blue. So if you shoot that thing twice, it's hard to do because you have to shoot off screen. But if you shoot it twice, then for some reason the water doesn't drain. And so now the Emmy will be moving very, very slowly through this lower section, which will allow him a safer method to stand here in the corner and just shoot it in the face.
This is the second quickest kill, I believe. Greg getting spotted by the Wave Emmy. Pretty sure he's gonna get spotted again. Oh, okay, managed to get by. It was a little dicey on Greg's screen. Got spotted and it was like chasing him around. But yeah, this deep blue is like what, second fastest version from the plant kill, or technically third if you consider the plant and then the slide under two different kills.
There's some debate about it though, just because now he's in the water and moving a little bit more slowly as he's leaving this area through this little bit of platforming here. Obviously it has gravity suit, so it's not much of a slower motion whatsoever, but I guess it's I may be misspeaking a little bit. It's more about the length of time it takes for the Emmy to get to you than the actual slower moment that you have.
Like we talk about the time save throws, but even if you do it the intended way from the devs, we're talking like 6-7 seconds difference.
Yeah.
On kill, so it's a very minimal time save on this Wave Emmy. But Greg doing the spark on SQ, not doing the quick kill for it. I'm not sure if he knows or accidentally sparked to the wrong side of SQ, so he didn't get the recoil to the wall. But still, we have screw attack and space jump make quick work of SQ. SQ is very much, I wouldn't call it a joke, but a baby boss with screw attack and space
quite
jump.
A bit, yeah.
A very big departure from the casual playthrough.
Yeah, playing through casually, you end up in this section with no screw attack, and you probably don't think to shine spark into the room the first time you fight him. So it can be rough.
Manny doing the storm missile version to break the. Oh my god, he might actually die. Doing the storm missile to quickly break the shields, and then doing so. Okay, so slow mashing here looks like, oh, he's like slow mashing. That's actually preferred to single mash, because if you mash too fast, you actually lose DPS because of how laggy it is. It's like an Emmy zone, a boss room with an Emmy in it, and a brain room too, maybe. So it's like the lag is stacked in this room.
Yeah, it has this like fog effect through it as well, which just slows down this room really pushes the Switch to its limits.
Yeah, like you would actually gain more time single mashing than mashing your heart out at 20 hertz. That's how bad that the lag is.
So Manny now moving on to the last couple of encounters. He's going to have the Golden Chozo and then just Ravenbeak after that.
Oh, just talk about enemies before. This is something like I don't think many people talk about or really think about it, but each Emmy obviously gives you like a unique item. They're also using that item, like the well, technically using that item. The white Emmy is kind of sort of doing it. The green Emmy is going through morph tunnels, even though all of them can. I don't know. The speed Emmy is using speed boosts. Blue Emmy is using, you know, the ice missile, or just like freezing you. The wave enemy can see through walls. The wave beam. It's a really cool. It's a really cool like small detail that they put in.
Yep. Greggy grabbing that deep blue kill on the wave Emmy as well. Very nicely done.
Manny doing quick work on the Gold Chozo.
Yeah, very nice.
But Ed, to answer that, the only reason the white Emmy can't go through morph tunnels is his face fins are too big. You notice all the face fins on everybody else is small, and that's the only reason they can go through morph tunnels.
Just basic design flaws, like the engineers
I don't know
just
why
didn't care as much about the white.
Yeah, I don't know why his fins are huge, but that's like the only reason it can't actually go into the morph tunnel.
It was very funny facing him casually. There's a point where he like just gets stuck because Samus has slid through a little slide area, and he's just like sitting there staring like, well, I don't know what to do about this. And it's not until you actually break a blob that then allows him to get around to you that he actually starts moving again.
For those of you who've never actually played this game, white Emmy is not the first Emmy. There's actually a broken Emmy that we call Elaine that we skipped with a pseudo at the very start, like a minute in. That teaches you how to use a charge beam.
Yeah, it's basically a tutorial.
But Manny at Dadbeak.
Ravenbeak, yeah.
Yeah, Ravenbeak. There we go. Choosing to do the 9+1 method, the very safe method for gold skip. Basically allowing you to like single mash. Basically, the strat is shoot 9 missiles, parry, and like mash beams in it. You need a very low amount of beams to skill to skip the gold phase, but it's very safe strat.
Yep, and now he's going to be keeping Ravenbeak in this corner as much as possible. There's a couple of attacks that Ravenbeak won't do while you're up against a wall like this, which means A, you don't have to deal with those attacks. They're kind of annoying. And B, you get more opportunity to just stand here like this and smash him with missiles. Especially on rookie mode where we're not as worried about the damage that you take from getting hit. It's a very early sun for Manny in phase 3, which is unfortunate. It means he has to waste that extra time to drop the power bomb. Technically, don't have to, but you lose so much time dodging.
Yeah, it's so you definitely want more melees than the actual. I mean, no, the parry attack more than anything else, more or less. Oh, and hyper beams. The sun is very slow, but depending on how low your missiles are, the sun is very nice sometimes.
This is true. Yeah, it's a good way to replenish your missiles. We also saw him actually skipping the parry there because if it's early in the phase, you want the parry because you can do more damage to him during that time period than you otherwise would be able to because you can fire your missiles twice as fast. But if it's late in the phase, you don't want it because you will have done more damage than is necessary and just have to sit out the rest of the cutscene.
Oh, and that's true for every parry cutscene. Even the robos, they can die on the first missile, and you have to wait for them to finish it and then basically die themselves.
Yeah, I think the only ones you literally never want are Kraid and Corpius.
So Manny doing quick work. Ravenbeak heading to the N. GG's to him. Winning this race is like 40 seconds to the end. Greg is actually not that far behind. Just basically, I think it was like 2 minutes behind. Which sounds like a lot, but his seed time was about a 1:27. So he's about to do like a 1:24. So this might actually be a PB for him. So he's doing extremely well considering his current skill level.
Yeah, absolutely.
I actually don't have much to say about each of their runs. Like, there wasn't any major mistakes. It was all pretty much minor outside of Adam's skip. It was just a very solid run for both players. Obviously fixed the mistakes. They're like the obvious mistakes. Greg choosing to do like slower strats overall. But I approve of those strats. Those strats were really cool.
Yeah, 1:21.12 for Manny. GG, very, very well done. And Greg will be
Manny. Hopefully that shows up. Okay, there it goes.
Yep. And Greggy now moving on to Ravenbeak. And I think you're right. It looks like he's on about a 1:24 pace. I had to give in one more shine spark just for the heck of it. I have never seen that done at all, but I like it.
Actually, that was the original method.
Was it really?
It was the original method until we realized that speed booster sucks and flash shifting is like faster in almost every way.
All right, let's see what it looks like. Greggy's going straight for the
Actually, no, that's 9+1.
Oh, was it? I saw you threw the storm missiles in there.
Yeah, that might have been an accident. So this is definitely 9+1, which is fine. Specifically for phase 1, you can't actually damage him except during the parry cutscene. So that's why you see players just like sitting here, because this is the only way to phase them.
Yeah, you have to do it during a parry cutscene. Which is also why that skip is important, because if you don't time that properly and don't get the gold skip, then you just spend ages standing there waiting for him to do another parry.
Yeah,
but there's that one that you can force to occur.
Yeah, the reason they go for 9+1 is you can almost guarantee the gold skip. If he gets gold armor, you basically automatically lose 20 seconds. Like, that's how long the gold's phase is.
By the way, that stomp to the ground attack and the beam attack that we just saw from Ravenbeak are the two that he doesn't do if you have him locked into the corner. That actually would have been a real good opportunity for a parry, but I don't blame him for not going for it. It can be difficult to spot those in time.
Ooh, that's good hyper beam. Doing the very standard void cross. method. It's just 2 missiles into a crossbomb. Crossbomb actually does about 400 damage. Ice missiles also do 400 damage. So we're basically almost double dipping into damage for free. Ooh, choosing to do the parry, that had to be an accident. This is probably the latest you could have done the parry. So now he should be dead after this, essentially wasting like, I don't know, 10 seconds or something.
Yeah.
Actually, it might have been intentional. If he's watching the stream, then he knows Manny won. That might have been intentional, just because it's a really cool cutscene.
It is definitely a very cool cutscene.
Actually, all the melee cutscenes in this game are amazing.
Yeah, playing through this casually and seeing Samus just go full badass mode through those cutscenes is awesome.
But yeah, as Greg heads to the end, we're joined by Manny. How do you think your run went? I saw like barely any major mistakes outside of Adam Skip. It was an extremely solid run.
Yeah, like I definitely think the biggest glare in my run was ADM skip, especially after I actually landed one jump in like first minute, but then fell down by impulse. I don't know what exactly came over me. I probably was so surprised I got it that time that I just dropped by instinct, didn't think much about it. But aside from that, everything went well. I'm especially glad that pseudo space didn't take me like 2 minutes to do like it did with some of my qualifying runs. So yeah, I think I'm more or less happy with how it went, and I was only behind my PB by like 1 minute and 16 seconds.
Considering this is a race, 1 minute 15 seconds is really good.
It's good. Like as long as I'm not like behind by like 4 to 5 minutes, I'm generally happy with like race time. I don't care that I'm like behind my PB. On average, I did better than I expected, so I can't complain.
I think Greg PB'd. Oh, he didn't PB. Okay, so basically, I don't actually know his PB. But yeah,
I'm not sure either. Someone to 120 then just.
Were you paying attention? You should actually see Greg's strats. Like, they were really interesting to see these strats. They're like all hybrid strats. Oh, doing the full speed keep. Hold up. I approve of this. Hell yes.
That's very difficult. He stops it right at the end.
Oh my god.
I just watched the whole thing. God. I did that like 1 to 2 times. I know it's like not optimal compared to like.
Oh yeah, it's like 2 seconds slower. Than
you know what you gotta show some content for the viewers. Something exciting. I respect that a lot.
Exactly.
It's definitely a very fun speed keep. We used to do it. It's actually still slower even if you have speed boost.
Yeah, you literally said just for style. I 100% agree.
But when you actually watch this back, Greg has like they're obviously slower, but they're very consistent and they're like really cool.
I was like kind of like half and half watching his stream when I had like time to like in between transitions. I saw that he did in Brenia 2, he did the boss spark through the tunnel instead of doing the full speed keep. That's what I used to do actually before I learned the full speed link in Brenia 2.
Oh, speed link! You didn't even do it.
Well, I mean, like through the tunnel in that big room. You know what I mean? But yeah, I don't do
that's
the
not
full
a
speed
link.
keep.
Don't get my hopes up like that.
You know what? One day I'll learn and flex for style, but like, I did get the one afterwards, so I'm happy.
Yeah, the ball spark through the tunnel and everything. It was very, very solid.
Yeah, I like to call the boss bugs Morbid time. I unironically say it every time I do it. No shame.
Greg actually did a ball spark on Gozuna. That was like, I remember that being a thing, but I wasn't expecting to see it like at all.
Yeah, there's like, I know a few runners used to do it a lot like months ago, and I know it's a viable shot. There's just a lot of different optimal strat to do Go Zoom. I didn't do the most optimal. I did the full spin boost behind strat, which isn't fastest, but it's close enough, I guess.
Yeah, I think you did the. I don't think it's the safest glitchless version. Well, all of it's glitchless, but like it was specifically used in glitchless. It was like sparking, and then you like spin jump over or something like that.
Yeah, like you need at least spin boost to make it work. If you're like doing any percent, if you're doing like new NMG and you're like spinless for most of the game, it won't work unless you get spin boost earlier, I guess.
While we wait for Greg to join, I can't like again. It was like a very clean run. I don't. Besides, obviously like optimize movement. There wasn't much. This might have actually, if you had first try Atom Skip, this might have PB'd maybe.
I could have. Let me double check myself. I lost over a minute on that.
Yeah, it would have been very close to PB. It would have definitely been like at least a low 20 if you got Atom.
All right, so I lost exactly a minute and 47 seconds. Oof. I would have PB'd. My PB is 119.55, and I ended my time at 121.22, 121.12. So that would have been a PB if I broke even on that split. So
yeah, that was extremely a solid run on Manny's. Speaking of solid runs, we saw a bunch of swag strats from you, Greg. How do you think your run went?
Oh, that was pretty crazy. I don't know if you guys can hear me.
Yep.
But yeah,
I hear you.
I was having fun, basically.
Yeah,
it looks like
good.
it. Yeah.
Yeah, congrats on your run. You did pretty well, all things considering.
Because I mean, I was doing all kinds of strats for fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, there were lots of really like there were a lot of Shine Spark methods that I had just not seen before, or at the very least not seen in a long time throughout your run. So it was really cool to see you showing off a lot of the sort of different ways you can use different types of speed tech as you're moving through the game.
Happy there.
Yeah, I definitely approve of them. They were really interesting to look at. Like the Loon store into the Spark Up. They were like just really. It was basically Metroid Dread, just doing cool stuff.
So I saw you said in chat earlier that you had a new PB today of another 126. I'm curious how far off from your PB this run was.
To be honest, it was pretty close, but a lot of mistakes, as you guys can see. A lot of slowdowns and bonk here and there. But yeah, I was pretty close to PB.
Very nice.
Yeah, I think the mid to late game was really solid. Most of your time gain from this race was probably the beginning. You were fumbling quite a bit. Then again, we didn't see 9 minutes of the race, so I don't really know what happened in that first 9 minutes.
Yeah, I think it was because the race was set to auto start. When both Greggy and I clicked ready, it just started. So I assumed that we just might as well just keep going since the timer was rolling. But yeah.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, as long as it's like everything's running correctly for the runners, like commentators can catch up, stream can catch up. That's fine. I'm just glad everything was going good for you guys.
Yeah, thank you.
Yep. That was fun.
Was there anything else? Or anything else? Yeah, like again, it was like extremely clean runs. Outside of obvious stuff, like I don't really have much. In terms of tips, anyways.
I will say one of the MVP moments in this particular race is that both of us got deep blue kill, and I'm pretty happy about that.
Yeah, agree.
Yeah.
So this was, of course, a upper tier bracket, so nobody's been eliminated. Manny, you'll be going on to face the winner between Antoine and J-Lac, which I'm not sure if that match has happened yet or not. Any thoughts going into your next round?
Well, I don't know particularly how well J-Lac and Antoine perform on an individual basis, but at least for me, I want to definitely grind more ADM skip practice so I don't spend like over a minute on this. So in case that they do much better ADM skip, I need to definitely work on mine. But all in all, I'm excited for the next round. I want to give my best and wish the best for my opponent when the time comes.
Yeah, I just looked at the schedule. They're actually starting in about like 25 minutes, so this would be a good time to wrap up. Everybody who's watching, be sure to give support for the next runners. I believe it was, as you said, Metatron and J-Lac, or Justin and Lacking, or I forgot the full one.
The next run that's on this channel is Metatron and Swerve are going against each other. The one that Manny will be going on to face the winner of is a different match that I don't believe has been scheduled yet.
Okay, well, the next match, let me see the schedule, is going to be between Metatron and Swerve, actually, and
Yep.
Devilor. Actually, you and Oso are going to be commentating that. So we're not going to be ending. Well, actually, no. We'll be ending this episode and it'll just go up again, right? So that's it for me. Again, be sure to give support for the next runners. Be sure to follow, all the runners and the commentators. It was a really cool opportunity and tournament. But yeah, that's it for me. I'll see you guys later.
Yeah. See you guys around. GG, Greggy. Thanks for the match.
Yep, GG's to everyone. Thanks again to the runners. Thanks for everyone watching, and we'll see you next mission.